All right, let's tackle one of the biggest questions out there. What actually makes you you? We're going to do it by digging into the three giant questions at the very heart of human development. I mean, seriously, have you ever just stopped and thought about it? Why do you have your specific personality, your talents, your weird little quirks? Is it your DNA, the way you were raised, something else entirely?
This is a question that people have been asking forever. It's one of the great mysteries of being human. And today, we're going to look at how science is actually trying to piece that puzzle together.
So, there's actually a whole field of science dedicated to this stuff. It's called developmental psychology. And it's all about how we change physically, mentally, socially over our entire lives, from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, let's jump right into our first big question. It's the classic debate you've definitely heard of, nature versus nurture. But, as we're about to see, the real answer isn't a battle, it's more like a dance. So just to make sure we're on the same page, when we say nature, we're talking about your biological blueprint, right? The genes you got from your parents. And nurture? Well, that's basically everything else. Your childhood, your friends, your culture, the whole shebang. For the longest time, everyone framed this as a big fight. Which one wins? But the huge aha moment for scientists was realizing, wait a minute, they're not fighting. They're partners. They're constantly interacting with each other. And here's where it gets really, really cool. They actually influence each other. Your environment can literally affect which of your genes get turned on or off. And at the same time, your genetic tendencies can shape the kinds of experiences you have. It's this nonstop dynamic back and forth that's happening all the time. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. Get this. Research shows that a mother's stress level, which is totally a nurture factor, can actually alter the genetic material of her fetus. That is a direct, powerful link between an experience and our fundamental biology. So that brings us perfectly to our second massive question. Are you, deep down, the same person you were when you were a little kid? This is the whole stability versus change debate. I love this question because it makes it so real. Think about it. We all knew a kid who was, well, difficult. Is that fussy, clocky baby just doomed to become an anxious, worrying adult? Are our core traits just locked in for life? Well, the answer seems to be a kind of feedback loop. It starts with your basic personality, your nature, which influences the choices you make in life. Then those choices create your experiences, your nurture, which then circle back and can actually reshape your personality. It's that dance again. And this leads to some of the most hopeful research in all of psychology. People used to believe your personality was basically set in stone by your late 20s. We now know that's just not true. Real, meaningful change is possible your whole life, even when you're much, much older. Okay, moving on to our final big question. How does all this change actually happen? Do we develop gradually, like we're riding a smooth escalator? Or is it more like climbing a ladder, with these big, distinct jumps from one rung to the next? So these are the two big ideas. On one side, you've got the escalator theory. Development is a slow, continuous process. On the other side, you've got the ladder, where we make these abrupt leaps into completely separate stages of life. So which one is it? Well, even though we love to talk about stages of life, like being a toddler or a teenager, the scientific consensus is that development is mostly a continuous process. Even something that feels like a huge shift, like puberty, is really a very gradual change. So for the most part, we're all on the escalator. So let's bring it all home. Let's pull these three massive ideas together. What does this all mean for you and me? Simply put, your life is an unfolding story. First, your life isn't just your genes, and it isn't just your experiences. It's that constant, beautiful, complicated dance between the two that is creating the person you are in this very moment. Second, you are a story that's about both stability and change. Of course, you have core parts of you that are consistent, but you are never fixed. You are always, always evolving. And all of that leads to what I think is the most incredible point. Your development isn't predetermined. You're not stuck on some track. It is a continuous story, and the most exciting part is that you get to be one of the main authors. So I'll just leave you with this to chew on, knowing that you are an active author in your own life story. What's the next chapter you're going to write?